Everybody, this is Rose of Sharon, and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently finished Compitence, the Custard Protocol, Book 3, by Gail Carriger. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And of course there's a super title. It says, a novel of peculiar incidents and unruly dissidents. And by the cover itself, you can tell that this is going to be a rollicking ride. This is yet another steampunk related book, and I adore steampunk, and this is some of the most impressive steampunk that I've ever read. And I really like Miss Carriger's wit and her sparkling humor, her British drollness, and just attentiveness to detail, and how progressive the novel is. I'm not going to go into the reason why, but you've got the Victorian language used, the way they spoke to one another. She keeps it very accurate in how they conversed, which I like. Mayhap and shouldn't you be abed and dash it all, things like that. I love the way the Victorian people spoke. And she's actually an expatriate. Miss Gale is. It says so on the back flap, and I'm going to read a little bit about her, because she's very intriguing. She is a best-selling authoress. I don't know why they don't use the noun authoress anymore. I guess they find it unappealing, but I like to say authoress. Go figure. So sue me. She writes to cope with being raised in obscurity by an expatriate and by an incurable curmudgeon. She escaped small-town life and inadvertently acquired several degrees in higher learning. Miss Carriger then traveled to historic cities of Europe, subsiding entirely on biscuits secreted in her handbag. She resides in the colonies, surrounded by fantastic shoes, where she insists on tea imported from London. And that I can definitely concur with, because, well, I shouldn't say only from London, because the triangular tea bags, I can just hear my friend from the East End saying, this is superior tea, which, yes, I agree, it is the superior tea. But the tea that I get from Republic is also outstanding. It is absolutely divine. But this is just a sensational book. The Spotted Custard is a dirigible that Primrose owns, and she's the lady captain of that ship, or I should say that said ship. And there are merlions involved that can speak, and also a werecat that can speak. And the werecat is a very intriguing character concerning her relationship with Primrose, and I'm not going to get into that because that would be a huge spoiler alert, and I'd rather not delve into that. And that's why I would want to say that Compitence in and of itself is very progressive, especially given the fact that this is written in an alternate Victorian England, so to say, or a Victorian era realm. And they head to Lima in order to visit some relatives and to get some things settled. And it's actually very intriguing. I like the fact that there are pistachio people, and this isn't the first time I've actually encountered pistachio people. The second time I've actually encountered them would be in Milo Murphy's Law, which I saw a preview for the crossover, the Phineas and Ferb and Milo Murphy's Law crossover, and they explain why they're pistachio people. But I thought, pistachio people. I've encountered these beings once before. How unusual. But I don't know if Miss Carriger was inspired by Milo Murphy's Law, or it was just something that she picked up entirely by herself. But nonetheless, despite the fact that it is very short, I was just utterly smitten by the book in and of itself, and just how vividly written it is, and how it grasps your attention, and the action sequences are nothing short of just spectacular, particularly with how Miss Primrose defends herself with her parasol. Her parasol is a very handy implement of destruction, or weaponry, I should say. It's a rather useful and integral to have. And it talks about her upbringing and just the whole idea of courting as to the mindset of Victorian era people and in this context. And with the werecat talking about that too, it was an archaic notion that was completely disregarded. It was something that the ancient werecats used to do. I love that conversation. I thought it was so funny. And there are lots of different scenarios with fancy hats, and I thought of my cousin right away. Actually, I call her my aunt because she is my aunt, even though she's more my cousin than my aunt. But she actually she will do consignment for people for a fee, for a novel fee. And she reenacts Victorian era high tea, as well as she'll put on Victorian era garb. She actually sews it herself, and it's just absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. And I wish I had the ability to do that myself, or I wouldn't have to pay so much with cosplay. Cosplay is a very expensive habit, as you may well know if you are an otaku like myself. Unashamedly and unabashedly so. Nevertheless, still, Compitence is a rollicking read, and I would highly recommend it if you're a steampunk fanatic like me. And it just seems like there are so few things that are steampunk related, but it should really be more of a thing. It should be, although I see it all the time if I go to conventions,